Hi friends, it's Jess with My Bipolar, and we're back today with a brand new series. I'm so excited about this. The series is called My Bipolar Guide. So I'm going to be walking you through different situations, things that I go through in life, and talk about what I do to do these things and also make sure that my bipolar is fine, that I have stability as much as possible and no bipolar symptoms. So today, this is my bipolar guide to sleep, which is very important. Some of these guides will be on lighter topics, but this is definitely a very important topic. And I know, at least for me, my bipolar meds are like at the very top of what I do to make sure that I am healthy, my bipolar is stable, but very next step down is sleep. And then below sleep comes all the other lifestyle changes that I make. But sleep is by far the most important thing. First, I'm going to talk about kind of the things that I do to set myself up for success with sleep. And then I'm gonna go take you into my bedroom and we are going to check that out and also look at how I set up my nightstand each night for bed. But first, if you would please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers and I'm inching my way up as we speak. So please help with that if you can. Also, like this video if you do like it, and comment. I love the comments, so do that too. Okay, so let's jump right in. One of the very first things I do to ensure good sleep is that I don't nap. Now, I shouldn't say that I don't ever nap, because I do, but my psychiatrist said, at least for me personally, it is very important that I don't nap so that I don't steal anything from my sleep at nighttime, because especially for me, it's very, very important to my stability. I try not to take in any caffeine, and also no alcohol. Since August, I've given up alcohol completely. I do find that both things help my sleep. Didn't give up caffeine or alcohol because of bipolar. I just did it, well, the caffeine was mostly because it was giving me more migraines, and the alcohol, it just affected me in a lot of different ways I didn't like. I didn't have a problem with alcohol, but it made it harder for me to sleep. One other thing that's important for my sleep to not be interrupted is that, I have a daughter. I have a 6-year-old daughter, and she knows that if she needs to get up in the middle of the night and come to us for any reason, she needs to go to her dad and not to me. I mean, we're in the same room, I might hear them, but there's less of a chance of me waking up and being fully awake and not going back to sleep. I also take Seroquel. I take this on a regular basis, but if I find that I'm having trouble going to sleep or I'm waking up really early, I will sometimes take a little extra Seroquel. My doctor approves this, knows that I do this. I don't do it that often, but I do it sometimes. It's sort of another way that I can ensure that I get good sleep. I also make sure I wind down before bedtime, which means for me that I have low lighting. I don't do any kind of exercise right before bed. I actually do my exercise earlier in the day. And I do think that exercising regularly helps my sleep. It makes me more tired at night. I just don't do anything that's really exciting close to bed. I don't like to go out and then come home right before bed. I don't play with my daughter really loudly before bed. It's just like everything's winding down, quieting down, making sure I can get the best sleep I can. Now, I did a little research just on my own of how much I sleep and how much I need to sleep. So I need at least 8.5 hours. This will be different for everyone. I need at least 8.5, but it's much better if I get 9. During the week, I have to wake up earlier because I have to get my daughter on the bus, I have to go to work. So during the week, I get up at 6:40 specifically, which means I don't have a choice in sleeping in later. But on the weekends, I could sleep in a little later. Now, I know that most people say if you have bipolar, you should go to bed at the same time each night and wake up at the same time each day. I actually don't do that. I do go to bed at the same time each night, but in the morning, I get up at different times depending on if it's a weekday or a weekend. The way I look at it is on the weekend, I am catching up a little. I'm able to sleep over 9 hours usually on the weekend. In the weekday, I can only get 8.5, or I would have to go to bed extremely early. I already go to bed I go into my room and get ready for bed no later than 9:30 each night. So like I said, I do that on the weekend too, but I go in even earlier, sometimes 9 p.m., sometimes 9:15, but waking up, I do get some extra sleep on the weekends. And for me, I feel like that does help. I've never felt like it caused me any problems with bipolar. I do think it makes me feel more rested and more stable. But you're gonna do whatever you should do. Obviously, this is my bipolar guide, and I hope that it helps you, or at least, gives you ideas, and you can tell me down in the comments of the way you approach sleep, if there's something different or the same, or if you don't have bipolar at all and you're just here curious, or maybe learning a little about sleep as well. So what happens if I don't get enough sleep? For me personally, I very quickly, like after one night of poor sleep or not getting enough sleep, I will be extremely tired. I will have brain fog. So it affects my concentration, my focus, word recall. I already have a little trouble with word recall on my own. I will be extremely hungry. It's very obvious when I haven't gotten enough sleep. I will be very hungry. And if it happens, if I have this poor sleep for a few nights in a row, I will usually go into hypomania at that point. Everything will escalate very quickly. And that's why sleep is so important to me and to most people with bipolar. Okay, so now we're gonna go into my bedroom, check everything out. So come on. Okay, here we are in my bedroom. I do have a really fancy bed. It's one of those sleep number beds that adjusts. Now, this is actually not for me. I don't need this at all. But my husband, he was actually born with a really severe back problem. And this was the only bed that was comfortable for him. So I get to reap the benefits of a really fancy bed. Every night I put the sleep number bed into 0G, and that's how I read. I actually don't sleep with the bed adjusted. I just sleep with it flat because I'm a side sleeper. But some people find it, very comfortable to sleep this way. But I don't know if you can see that the bed is sort of curving right now. This is how I get into bed, and this is, when I take my medications and my supplements. I take about, I think it's 12 different pills at night. And, I make sure I have a comfy pillow. I like having like the satin or silk pillowcases. It's supposed to be better for your skin, and I have rosacea. So I also want to make sure you have like a really cozy, comfy environment. I love having like the walls, like a blue, gray. And then I've always been a fan of just a simple white bedspread. For me, that's just really relaxing and comforting. It's like sleeping in like on a cloud. And the blinds are actually very dark. I need it to feel like it's, you know, pretty much pitch black when I'm sleeping. And now I'm going to show you how I set up my nightstand and sort of my whole routine before bed. I find that having a solid routine, like doing the same steps every single night, really puts me in the mind space to go to bed. So I'll walk you through everything kind of from left to right. And I set up my nightstand like this every single night. First, here's a pillow. This is the pillow I use as a body pillow. I don't actually have to get a real body pillow because I'm so short. These are my blue light glasses because, as you can see, here's a Kindle. I read every night for about a half an hour before I go to sleep. I do my skincare, I brush my teeth, and actually some nights I skip the skincare because it takes about 10 minutes, and some nights I would just rather have 10 more minutes of sleep than good skin. I take my meds, which are right here. I'll show you. There's all my medicines and supplements that I take at night. Everything in here is either for bipolar or migraines. That's it. And some things are for both. So here is my sleep mask I keep here. I actually don't use this every night, but if I wake up in the night and I'm having trouble going back to sleep, sometimes I can just put on this sleep mask and it almost acts as if like it's a drug. It helps me go back to sleep. It's pretty amazing. Back here's my little lamp. I needed a little one so that all my stuff can fit on the nightstand. And then my alarm clock. I don't use my phone as an alarm clock. I need the loud blaring clock. Coming back down, earplugs. I sleep with earplugs every single night. It is the best sleep that I've found with no sound whatsoever. So usually my phone is right here, but I'm recording with it right now. So I put my phone here and I have it plugged in charging. I always have a full glass of water to take my meds, but also if I get thirsty during the night, I have a lot of excessive thirst because of the meds that I take. And also to take my medicine in the morning, I take only one pill in the morning, which is right here. So I don't use one of these pill boxes, and that is for hypothyroidism. And as a coaster, I use this book. I mean, it's sort of like supposed to be a little bit of a joke, but I've been using it for so long. Natural Medicine Guide to Bipolar Disorder. This is one of those books I think my parents got for me when I was first diagnosed 24 years ago, and they thought like, oh, that might help her. I don't think they realized that this book is proposing like you shouldn't need medicine. I think they just thought it was tips to, you know, like lifestyle changes. But it's a bit more than that. I haven't read it for a while, but I just think it's funny to use it as a coaster since I never read it anymore. I always have a tissue. I just want everything within hand's reach, and I don't have to get up out of bed in the middle of the night or even when I'm, you know, getting ready for bed, reading. I have rhinitis, so I need tissues a lot. And like anyone who knows me well knows I always have a tissue on me, and I always have the tissue on the nightstand. This is the monitor. As I said, my daughter is 6 years old, but it comes in handy. Like if I need to see if she's awake or not in the morning, or I'll always check it before I go to bed. It is just part of my routine to see like, okay, she's in there sleeping. I don't have to go in and possibly bother her. And it's not set up like a baby monitor where like if she makes noise, there's an alarm or anything. Like none of that happens. So it's actually really nice. And let's see, the only thing left that I haven't talked about is my lip mask. And this is one of those like really overpriced. It's called Tatcha. And you know, I'm a lip biter and I love having something to put on before I go to bed. And yes, it's expensive and it comes with a little, you know, spatula to like put it on. But I really do love it and it's part of my routine and it, you know, it's fun and it makes me feel good about myself. All right, I'll see you back in the living room. One more thing I didn't mention in the bedroom is about being too hot when you sleep. So that's very important to me. I have to have a cool room and I have to feel relatively cool. So when I go to bed, it's sort of like I have on socks and pants and, you know, shirt, everything, but I will kind of strip down starting with socks to make sure I'm at the right body temperature. If I'm too hot, I can't sleep. And as you notice, I'm sure it is not nighttime. I'm wearing my PJs for this video, but it is definitely not nighttime, and that was intentional. I wouldn't be able to get all excited and talk to you guys and do this video right before I went to bed and then sleep well. Well, thank you so much for being with me on my first bipolar guide. And if you have any suggestions on other bipolar guides I should do, please let me know down in the comments. This was my bipolar guide for sleep. I'm sure you go about things differently, your sleep routine, and what you do to set yourself up for success. I would love to hear about that as well. So let me know down in the comments. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, friends. Bye.